Hi and welcome to this tutorial on the control bus system. So I'm going to integrate this with the digital signal processing, making FX, and we're going to start getting into just using controls, physical controllers. And I think the best sort of metaphor. It's not even really a metaphor. The older system is just the MIDI system. So I'm sure most of us are familiar with just the MIDI devices that we use, MIDI keyboards and such that we can basically plug into our computer now and just use them to say play something on one of our digital audio workstations, like Pro Tools or Logic, virtual instruments, that kind of thing, or plug in mixers. Virtual mixers, mixing consoles that use MIDI again, this communication structure, and then it just controls, say, our digital mixers and such like that. Okay, so this is very similar, except it's just a much more open system. If you're have followed some of the earlier videos, I did a lot of open sound control. So open sound control being just a sort of a much more flexible type of MIDI communication between computers and devices and such. And it will allow us to use our Arduino boards in this sort of system that I'm going to introduce here to connect to pretty much any kind of controller. So it's a lot like basically just a much more flexible and versatile MIDI system using Open Sound Control instead of MIDI to use physical controllers to control our sounds and control graphics, etc., etc. Okay, so just to give you in this just very, very short video, I'm going to give you a little bit of theory and background, and then roll our sleeves up and get into basically starting building controllers and such. Okay, so basically we have some kind of physical controller, whether it be like a potentiometer or force sensing resistor, FSR. I think I have a video on that, or even just simple buttons. Okay, and then that's going to go into Arduino through the serial bus, and then we're going to grab that information into SuperCollider. We're going to be use these basically this controller information within SuperCollider to control our effects, control the various arguments of our effects, turn them on and off, etc., etc. And within, Super Collider, it's going to a control bus, and just like the audio bus system that we were using, we're going to have a central hub where all our signals will go, and then we can grab those out to use with our synths, our makers. And the nice thing about this is you can reuse these signals. You can use, say, the same signal to control multiple synths. So if you're changing a controller, you might be able to change multiple sounds at the same time or stop multiple sounds at the same time. And you can do just like actual analog modular synthesizers. You can use these control signals and pop them back in. You can use, or you can send in, say, low frequency oscillators. You can send in sort of oscillating control signals and use those. And this becomes your central hub, and it allows for feedback and various controls and stuff. It's kind of nice. Okay, so to again, just to give you just a quick introduction and show the workflow of what we're going to do, and just to show areas, what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time just initially going to have a sort of one single chain way through, have one controller through the Arduino, have one synth, have one control, maybe just use a potentiometer to control, say, frequency or amplitude in just a simple sine wave synth. And then show you how to sort of multiply it so that you can get multiple controllers in and use them in various different ways. Okay, so we'll start with just a potentiometer build, show you how to make that circuit, how to prototype that, show you the simple Arduino code that's going to bring it in and spit it out to the serial bus, and then show you how SuperCollider takes in serial data and uses it, and then sends that out to to set the values in a control bus, and then how you can use mapping to map synth arguments to a actual control bus. So dynamically, whatever is coming into the control bus will be just dynamically change your synth arguments. Okay, so just been again a quick introduction video, and just go ahead and hopefully follow along with the rest of the videos as they come up.